So, what is it that you find at every single airport out there in the world? Airplanes? Well, probably, but I'm thinking barbecues. Welcome to the Super Pilotish channel. My name's Graham Wilson, and today in my basement, I'm going to be talking to you about count of five, YouTube five winter barbecue tips. Uh, I'm gonna get right into it. Oh, hey, Nefarious, thanks for coming by today. In the chat, feel free to give all your your comments, questions, etc., etc. So I was like really short on getting a topic here today, and so I was like, luckily I kind of threw it out there in some other chat that I was on, and someone said, "Do it on barbecues," and I was like, "Yeah, that's right, winter barbecue tips." So I don't know if somehow I managed to come up with these topics. Okay, and you do have barbecues at pretty much every airport out there. It's like I don't think I've ever seen an airport without a barbecue. It kind of goes together. But usually people shut down their barbecues in the wintertime, and there's no reason for that. Let's enjoy some barbecue tips. Okay, and yeah, so I got my little whiteboard out here, and we are going to talk about five winter barbecue tips. Number one, you gotta have lots of fuel, propane or charcoal, whatever that may be, or natural gas, I guess. But yeah, in the wintertime, because it's colder, now, I'm kind of like a year-round barbecue guy, I guess, because I'm kind of like a steak snob, and that like, oh, it has to be on charcoal. Oh, if it's on propane, it's unbelievably terribly terrible. But yeah, so it's like I like barbecuing in the wintertime, and it just like I kind of cheated and went onto a website just to kind of jog my memory. They had 11 tips. I didn't think I needed that many. But what I have found in my years of barbecuing outside in the winter is that it's cold. Believe it or not. Yes, it is. And your barbecue is not going to really heat up like it does in the summertime, whether it's propane or whether it's charcoal. It's you got like I myself, I have a Weber grill. It's one of those kind of, I will draw it for you. Here we go. It's one of these guys. I was using blue earlier because it's cold, right? Look at this. Okay. We are going to draw. So this is like my little Weber grill. It's kind of okay. It kind of looks like a mini green egg. I don't know those green egg. What are the? Have you ever seen those? There's kind of like this super slow, massive cooker made out of clay. They're really heavy and stuff like that. But I got the old. Oh, look at that. That is looking pretty good. Looking pretty much. I'm doing my little artistic work here. All right, what do we got? Handle on top, I guess. All right, there we go. Actually, that looks like that looks like some kind of schizophrenic Pac-Man or something like that. Oh, hey, wrench. Yeah. So that's my Weber grill right there, and this is like the top. It's one of those. That's the lid for it. So it's just thin metal, and so if it's really cold on the outside, a lot of heat will escape through it. There's a little vent on the top. Okay, now it's my Pac-Man's looking even more schizophrenic here. Oh, that's right. On the bottom, it looks like this. You got some holes in the bottom here. So the bottom is you can open up there for airflow, and here on the top for airflow, and then in here, that's where your charcoal is going to be. So I don't know. I think my my schizophrenic Pac-Man's looking even weirder, but whatever. So there's your grill, and okay, so yeah, you're gonna need more just because of the ambient, the temperature outside. But yeah, okay, so we'll start with that. And so you just need that extra fuel to get it going. But sometimes if it's really cold out, like I'm thinking -10, -20, Canadian barbecue temperatures, they can get really cold. And there's not enough for my type of barbecue, the holes down here are designed for sane people barbecuing in the in the summertime and the hole here. So you need a little bit of extra airflow. And so what I do for that is, well, I don't lift it up like that. I guess you could for more airflow, but usually I'll do a top view on here, and it would look something like this. Okay, here we go. I don't know. Okay, so this is like the top view. That's the handle, and then this I just crack it just a little bit on the side where the lid is, and I just crack it just a bit more, and that's just enough. It keeps the heat in, but it also gives it more airflow for your fuel to burn. You know, you need more fuel needs more air. So that's my little tip to the world on that one. And yeah, so there's also another thing to consider. All right, I will get my cold blue marker out again here, and we're going to be talking propane and propane accessories here. Propane. Okay, so if it's cold, the pressure the pressure of your canister of propane will be less. There you go, propane pressure. Temperatures, pressures, they all kind of work together. There's little, as this goes up, that goes down. As velocity increases, the pressure and temperature, they all do all kinds of weird things. That's why you can almost never get your air conditioning system right in your car or your house. You need like all these little gauges to take everything into consideration. But for your propane pressure there, basically, if it gets too cold, it's not going to come out because the liquid has to turn into a gas, which goes into your barbecue. If you have a natural gas hookup from your house, I think it's probably just about the same. But if you got those propane tanks, I know one guy I met. Well, actually, he was a friend of mine. I haven't been in touch with him in a while, but he got a job way up north in British Columbia. Just gonna get my handy eraser here. Yeah, he got this job way up north in British Columbia, and he was working there in the wintertime, and it got down to, I think it was minus 45, minus 50, something like that. And he said that like he was moving doing like excavation equipment kind of thing, and he just he left the key in the ignition overnight, and it cooled right down to like minus 50 or whatever. And he said he went to grab the key, and it just felt like someone took like a, a propane torch on his fingers. It was just burned his fingers, you know, because it was that cold. And he said what they did there to get the propane, what was it? They had to heat the engines before they started them up. So they had these propane blowers to heat up the engines on the excavating equipment, but the propane wouldn't work. So what they would do is they would get some gasoline, throw it in it like a car tire, a truck tire, light the tire on fire, and then put the propane tank in the fire. He's telling me this. I'm like, what the? You're gonna blow yourself up, dude. He's like, yeah, that's what I thought, but the old guy just did it. And so you'd have the gasoline, this burning tire smoking up all the place, and then heating up the propane, which could go to the blower, which would heat up the excavator engine, and then they could start it. So that's apparently it works. I don't I don't recommend that, but that's yeah. So even they had to get the propane from minus 40 or minus 50 up to at least like I don't know, just above freezing or something. And yeah, so there's that. Okay, my other barbecue tip. Here we go. Oh, I let the cat out of the bag on my third one here, which is to crack the lid. The lid. Okay, and I don't know exactly how that works on. I don't think it would really work on propane one, but for your charcoal one, like I said before, you crack the lid, just lift it up and just move it just a little bit to the side, leaving about a gap of, I don't know, half an inch, something like that. And it gives just enough airflow that you can get it up to the proper temperature. Another handy thing there to have is on your, like on my Weber, what would you call it, on the lid, there's like a little temperature gauge there. That's very handy to have because if you don't have that, you can have it sit out there and it could be burning and burning. And, oh, it should. You're thinking in summer temperatures, and it's like, oh, it should be warm enough. And you look, it's not even in like 400. Like on my barbecue, the range that I cook steaks and potatoes and all that other stuff is between 450 and 550 Fahrenheit. And so, like, it might not even get up to 450, and you can't do anything if it's below 450, basically. That is the searing range, apparently. That's what they say. Okay, so crack that lid, get a little extra airflow, check your temperature. Okay, so number 4, something to pay attention to, which is different in North America, anyways. Well, I guess it would probably be the same in Australia or something like that, except different months. Seasons would be the same. So it gets dark early. So that's something to pay attention to. You might want to have a flashlight handy. Or where I have it, I can turn on the lights. I kind of have my barbecue by my garage and I can turn on the lights on the garage. But still, if you want to really see if your potatoes are ready or if how's your steak looking or the burgers doing or something like that, it doesn't hurt to have a flashlight out there to take a look. So, and it does get dark early. Another thing to watch out for, and this is number 5. There we go. We got all 5 here on the Super Pilotish channel. Okay. I made my cheat sheet here. We'll say, okay. Say, be careful with your clothing. Be careful with your clothing. Be careful with your clothing. Careful with clothing. Okay, so if you are, I just managed to squish it in. Be careful with your clothing. Yeah. So if you're outside and you're barbecuing, if you got like ski gloves or something like that are nylon, you're getting close to the grill and everything like that, and you can melt that pretty easily. Or even say you got a nice parka or a nice winter coat, and that's nylon, and you could just be like, oh, I'll just reach over here. Next thing you know, you're melting underneath. You're melting underneath your jacket, but you won't feel it because it's all insulated, right? So yeah, you got to watch out for that. You can melt clothing and all that other stuff. I saw this one website that was saying get yourself some barbecue gloves, and I've never actually seen or heard of those things, but it was like, oh, I'm gonna wear these gloves that get all dirty and I'm gonna manhandle all my burgers and stuff. It's like, I don't think you really need that. But I would say what I do, like if I go camping or something like that with if I'm cooking right on a fire when I'm camping, like a campfire. So what I do there, I have my standard camping gloves, which are just leather work gloves. That's it. And actually, they're insulated winter leather work gloves. So all leather, and so there's a little insulation there to keep your hands warm in the winter, but also it keeps your hands cool from if you have a really hot, pot of water or something, a frying pan or something you got to pick up. So I'd say kind of all leather gloves would be very handy for something around the barbecue. Uh, wouldn't hurt. So, all right, there we go. 5 winter barbecue tips. Let's do a recap, and then I will talk to you about Friday's show, which is going to be cool. All right, number 1, and I like as usual, my top 5 are not really like in order, but I would say this is probably sort of in order. The number 1, you're going to use up lots of fuel, so that means you're going to use lots of propane and charcoal to attain the same heat that you would normally get in the summertime. But so keep in mind there, if you got your propane tank, if you're using that much more, you're going to go through it faster. It wouldn't be bad to have like a backup propane tank if it runs out. And that's good to have anyways, is always have a full backup tank. Okay, and we're going to crack the lid here. That's more for your charcoal to get more airflow to get it hotter. And check your temperature gauge in there. Okay, be careful. It gets dark early. Have a flashlight handy, or even those headlamps. Those are fantastic. If you're wearing your headlamp, and that it leaves your hands free, and it lights up what you're looking at. So headlamp would be good for barbecuing this time of year. And be careful with your clothing. Nylon clothing in particular wouldn't be bad to have some camping gloves. Don't burn yourself. Don't burn your expensive parka. And there we go. 5 winter barbecue tips. Screenshot. Okay. And that's about it for that. So, yeah, today's show, I will see if there's any questions here. Probably not. But I'm going to tell you about Friday's show after I go through any of the comments here. Okay, here we go. Wrench, the the energy conservation engineer here. Mostly like to cook outdoors in the summer to keep the heat out of the house. Yep, definitely. And in winter, keeping that cooking heat indoors is a plus. Yeah, I agree. I mean, like if it's really cold here, that's it's always kind of a Canadian tradition is that on the coldest day of the year, that's when if you have a self cleaning oven, which is the like electric self cleaning oven, that's when you do it because it heats up like super massively hot, then it gets cooler and hot. The self cleaning oven just burns a ton of hydro or a ton of electricity or natural gas, depending on how your oven is going. But you don't waste any, like it's kind of offset by your furnace not working as hard. So you always do that on the coldest day of the year. But yeah, but sometimes I don't know, Ranch man. I'm such a barbecue snob. I gotta have my charcoal. Okay. All right. What else we got here? Damn it, Bobby. Yeah, I guess you can't really talk about you can't talk about propane and propane accessories without some sort of King of the Hill reference. What do we got here? Now relate this to airplanes. Can you grill on a Lycoming 4 steaks at once? Well, we got a 4-cylinder Lycoming. The propeller would be creating too much wind. If you took the propeller off with the appropriate counterweights, it would get hot enough and it wouldn't blow the wind. Maybe. And the thing is, the cooling fins on the cylinders would make nice searing marks on the burgers or the steaks. Possibly, I'll give that one a possibly, Ranch. Oh, really? Okay. Nefarious got some barbecue gloves for Father's Day. They're kind of handy. I don't know. Well, I'll have to take your word for that one because I've never seen them. They look like they'd be weird to clean or something. I don't know. I just saw a picture really quick today for the first time, and I'm like, oh well. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to be talking about on next week's show. Okay, you might have seen I did a interview or I did a review of Joshua Lysek's book. So good they call you a fake. Okay, so Joshua Lysek is a ghostwriter, and I'm going to be interviewing him on my show on Friday. So that was kind of cool. It was nice of Joshua to agree. I don't know. He's like, I follow him on Twitter. I went to go meet him down at his when he was doing the book launch for this. That's why I got the autographed copy. Got him to autograph that for me. And so I met him down there, and then he agreed to come on my show for Friday. So that's kind of cool. We're going to talk about his book, So Good They Call You a Fake. And I don't know. We'll kind of see what he's up to. I think it should be pretty. Like he's a pretty cool guy. Like I had a chat with him and stuff like that. And really smart, hardworking millennial. Pretty cool. So I'm really looking forward to that. Then I'm going to be kind of promoting that a little bit more than my usual shows because I'm not just talking in my basement. I'm talking in my basement with some other dude. So anyways, yeah, that'll be pretty cool. Joshua Lysek, he was the editor of Scott Adams' last book. And he's got his fingers in the pie of like all these other authors and stuff like that. Some ghostwriting, some he has his website. You can get consultation from him and stuff. He has like little I don't know, little programs and stuff that he sets up to help you become a writer. And I mean, he's been doing it for a number of years now, so he's pretty good. This book was well written, and if it makes sense to me. I'm not a pro at what this book is actually about, but I'm going to have him talk more about what this book is about. In addition to like my last book review I did, we'll be talking to him on Friday at noon, and so that's cool. Looking forward to that one. All right, now what else we got here? Okay, well, we got a quick question here. Have I tried writing? I kind of like writing here and there. I've written like little short stories and stuff like that. Not necessarily, well, sort of about flying and sort of not about flying. I've thought about it, and that's kind of one of the reasons I was like, I kind of read a preview to Joshua's book there, and actually I've met him in person, so I can actually say, "Hey, Joshua," But anyways, the I've thought about it, and I kind of wanted to pick his brain down there when I was meeting him, and I don't think I'm really right in the head. I'm not right in the head. My headspace isn't quite right to do any type of writing right now, but maybe in the future or something like that. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. It's like a lot of effort to write, hundreds of pages, and yeah, it's a lot of work. So, and what's the benefit that I could get to society or me or anything like that? I don't know if it's really worth the work or not. But anyways, but have I tried writing? Yeah, here and there, but nothing published or anything like that. So, anyways, that's about it. So, yeah, there we go. We will be discussing So Good They Call You a Fake on Friday with author Joshua Lysek. Because why? Because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. And I guess we'll just kind of shut her down. So, dun, 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 the free mouse. Got that. Yeah, the mouse is still working great. Yeah, so we'll just kind of shut her down. And thank you for watching. Bye.